Hello, hi. Welcome to the Songwriters Drop-In. My name's John Gallagher. Um, it's been a little while since I've done any videos. Um, I've been very busy for the last few months playing bass in a band and learning a lot of new material. So apologies for the very long gap. But today I thought I'd invite a guest, and this man is Puskar Silwal, and he just rolled into town about 2 months ago, and we're just gonna have a little chat about music and songwriting. So, um, Pushka, welcome.
Thank you very much
Yes,
for this
and
opportunity.
yeah, and so you've been in town for 2 months.
Yeah, like it's been like almost 2 months now.
Great.
Yes,
And how are you finding it?
it's quite. I like the town actually. It's quite. I like the vibe and the people. Especially I
Brilliant.
met you and people
Yeah.
like you. So it's really good.
Good. Yeah, it takes a little while, but yeah, it's a good friendly crowd here.
Yes,
It's a
yeah.
nice little scene, and what have you. But as we know, this channel is a songwriters channel, and Pushka here does write songs.
Yes, I do.
And I just wanted to ask you just a few really simple questions, And so, when did you start writing, Puskar? When did you first start writing any
I think
songs?
I started writing maybe 2-3 years back now.
2 or 3
Yeah,
years.
it's been like quite some time.
Right.
So I started writing, especially after when I started to go deeper within myself, like realize
Ah.
because I started meditation, I started doing yoga and stuff,
Oh, interesting.
and then what happened is like I started to tune myself with the nature and everything. So
Wow, that's really good. Did you find that when you took up these activities, yoga, going out more into nature, did you find that it helped your songwriting any? Did it open up more avenues of maybe exploration or thought or
definitely, in fact, I think
skill?
these are the things that actually helped me get deep into songwriting.
Ah,
Because
so
before this, I used to sing covers and stuff,
right, right.
and this
Ah,
actually inspired me to, oh, I need to write something of my own, have my own creation going.
right. So these activities were like they were a door opener, really,
Exactly, yes.
to be able to explore the psyche
Yes,
and
yes.
explore the self, and just see what comes up. Because I find that with songwriting as well, that when you're when you're not looking for things to write, you find that things come up of their own
Yeah,
volition.
exactly, yes,
So
yes.
so you can, as songwriters, we get into that space where we where we can harness these things really quickly,
Yes,
and you see something arise within you, rather than it be a conscious effort to try and write something, you know. So you find, is it that way for you as well?
yeah. I
'Cause
think
know
I
it
can
is
I can
for.
relate this with a lot with whatever you said, because the best songs that I've written, it came out maybe after a deep meditation session, or a deep,
Ah,
or when I was just in the forest or in the nature, or
yes.
something that is really significant that happens within, and then I realized if I actually try to write songs, I never write songs.
It's always as
Yes,
soon as you try and contrive it, and try and capture it, it just, for some reason, it's the same way for me as well. It just becomes constricted, and you can't. It's very hard to articulate it, and to
exactly.
get anything down.
Exactly.
You know.
In fact, what has happened is that the songs that I've written, it has actually came out in a one single flow. Like
Wow. Yeah.
I didn't even
Ideal.
think of anything or such. I just had my guitar with me. I
Ah,
started playing few chords, and
right.
then I had my phone and I started recording. So
Right.
in a span of 10 minutes, I have a whole song with the whole melody and the whole lyrics.
That's really
That's
great.
done.
Yeah. That's really
And
great.
those instances, it doesn't happen always. But when it happens, I know that this is the time, like the universe is aligning me so that I can give it out as a creation.
That's very much that's very much a very great outlook. You know, that's my outlook on it as well.
Yes.
You know, that I've had one of those recently
Yes. Yes.
where I wrote 3 songs. First one was okay. It came out okay, you know, and things are lined up, and the chords are quite interesting. And the idea was actually planted because
Yeah.
we
Yes.
go
Yes.
to.
Yes.
We've been to this songwriters session in town
Yeah. Yes.
where what will happen is the host will he'll have a random word generator, and what he does is he will pick out a word from this generator, and at the end of the songwriting session he'll give this to the audience or the musicians to set them a challenge to actually go and write something from the word. And what happened was that um, I've done this 3 times now, and out of the first song was okay, and it wasn't bad. The second song I wasn't happy with, but the third song was like, yes, that it struck me. You know, everything lined up, and that's the one that, going back to what you said,
Yes.
that's the one that came the quickest. You know, because everything aligned itself really nicely, and it came out in this flow rather than sort of having to sort of, okay, well, I've got this section, you know, and now I've now got to think of a bridge or something, you know, or so I need something else, but I can't think of it because I've sat down trying to think about how it is, you know.
In fact, yes. In fact, I have a very beautiful analogy of what I perceive it as. So, you know, like there, if you dig deep within, like the surface of the ground, in
Yes.
some areas you actually find water,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So what happens is like when you start digging, what happens is like there are rocks.
Yes.
You see, there are rocks,
That's great, man.
and then
I love that.
there are rocks. Then you go deeper. You see there are like thinner rocks now. Then as you go down, there it's much more compact and simple,
Yeah.
and to the point where it's actually just clean water. So I think
it gets a bit muddy,
Yes,
and then a
yes.
little bit looser,
Exactly.
and then clean. Yeah, right.
and that's also what I think.
That's a great analogy. I've never heard it put like that before, but I can completely understand that.
And
Yeah, that's
just like
brilliant.
how
I
you
love
shared,
that.
you know, the first time it was just like the surface, what was happening,
Yeah, right.
and the second time you were actually digging digger, you know,
Yeah.
just deeper,
Yeah.
and third time is when you actually hit the clean water, and that's how it just came out. And exactly that's what I said. When I meditate, I'm actually going deeper within myself.
Yes.
So I'm actually I'm connecting within my source.
Yes.
So,
yeah. Wow.
It's like I'm
That's
skipping
inspirational.
the second part that you did, and I'm directly connecting to the third part.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Because we know it's funny that we can always kind of feel the way it works.
Exactly.
It's
yes,
always
yes,
better when you can just go straight to the water,
Yes.
you know, because when you hit the rocks, when I hit the rocks, that's when I leave it for a while. I will leave it
Yes. Yes.
and then come back to it. Sometimes it will get resolved and finished, and you'll have a song. Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. Yes.
And that's all right. That's fine as well. There was this thing that came up in the group about not being precious about the ideas,
Yes.
you know.
Yes. Yes.
And I've always treated like that. I've always treated it like that, you know, where if an idea doesn't come to fruition, then it's absolutely all right. That song to me wasn't meant to be, you know, and maybe even in fact you can come back to it later on. Sometimes years later,
Yeah.
you might
exactly.
like
That's so true.
something, you know, and it might come to you where you hit the water straight away after after leaving it down for a long time, you know, the rocks are no longer there anymore.
Yeah. In fact, when you're saying this, so whatever songs that I've written, actually the melody came from the song that I was in the stone before. So before.
There you go.
That's
Yeah,
it. And
that's
it's
really
like the
interesting.
lyrics and everything is connected in that 10 minutes. But that doesn't mean not any work was done. The work was already done before, you know? Like maybe
Yeah, right.
somewhere, maybe a year before or some months before. But you don't remember it in the moment.
Right.
but everything makes
Yeah.
sense
That's
right
it.
there and then.
Yeah.
Even you know Chris Martin, like
Yeah.
Coldplay. So I
Coldplay,
recently
yeah.
watched one of his his podcast, and he said that you know the song Viva la Vida.
Yes.
He
Yeah.
said he wrote that song in like 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Yeah. Yeah.
But then you know what he said? He said that before writing that song, he actually was trying to write 18 different songs, and but that
Yeah.
never really came.
Yeah.
That never really came into fruition.
Yeah.
Then the when he came up with the actual Viva la Vida, it was just like it happened 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Now,
Wow.
if you have to see people will say, "Oh, he wrote it in 10 minutes," but actually, there was a lot of work already being done. That's why he was
Yes.
being able to create it in the 10 minutes.
So what you're saying is, and I think you probably agree. I think you probably agree with this. Really, you know, where to be a songwriter, you have to have a lot of trust
Yeah,
in
exactly.
yourself.
Exactly, that's so
You
true.
know,
Yes, yes.
because of what you just said and
Yes,
what we've
yes.
just been talking about. So trust is a really,
Very true,
a
very
really
true.
great thing, you know. I know that people speak about writer's block, you know, and yeah, I've spoken to a few people where I've said I don't actually believe in writer's block. I just believe that inspiration comes when it wants to, you know, and there's no, it's you that creates the block.
Yes,
It's
yes.
not, it's you putting a label on it that says the block is there, but really, you know, okay, so you don't write anything for a long time. There was a period where I didn't write anything for 3-4 months, nothing.
Yes.
But
yeah.
then after 3-4 months, I think I wrote one song. But then the year after, which is last year, I think I wrote like 5-6 songs. You know,
See, same thing
and
happened
it's
with me.
like just trust as well.
You
back
know,
to trust.
I wrote 6 of my songs in a single day.
Really.
Yeah,
In a
it's
single
kind of
day.
crazy if you think about it.
That's great.
It happened like after song after song after song after song. There's like, I was
Wow.
just in a room. I think I did a session of meditation, and I was just sitting with my guitar, and this happens like, oftentimes it happens in the night for me, like
Yeah,
late
right.
night when
Yeah.
it's really quiet and stuff.
Yeah.
And then that's when I just feel like having my guitar and just playing some melodies or different kind of chord progression and stuff. So this night, I think it's the most special night that I have had so far. Is like, it's like a compilation of 50 minutes of recording that I did. Then when I went back, actually I could see that I could divide them into 6 songs.
Right. Yeah. Oh wow.
And that was so beautiful thing. And the
That's great.
funny thing is that it hasn't happened after that moment, meaning that that moment was supposed to happen only in that moment, and I cannot, you know.
Yeah.
And that's, I think that's where people actually get stuck, is that they try to just look at the same inspiration, whereas the universe has millions and millions of inspiration that you can derive from.
That's right. If you try to recapture the
Yes, exactly.
If you try to recapture the moment that you already had, you will have a really hard time
Exactly.
to recapture that moment. You probably won't do it at all.
In fact, that moment,
maybe,
you never ever thought about that moment happening. It happened.
It happened. Yes, exactly.
Meaning you cannot think your way into a moment. You see what I
No,
mean?
you can't. That's
Even
right.
if it's supposed to happen again, it will happen in a different way now.
That's
Because-
right. Yeah, yeah. The only thing that we need to be is receivers.
Yeah, exactly.
Is just any little thing that might give you an inkling that an idea is there at all. Write it down, even if it's one line.
Exactly.
If it's no
Yes.
melody, no, just one line of something. Sometimes it's just a title can really.
It is true.
You know, and you never know what that's going to become. I've written whole songs out of just having one word or just one.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure, and everything, and so yeah, this is really interesting. So we're going to keep this fairly short because it's
Yes.
actually, this is evening time, and it's actually knocking on. So I think Puskar, very
you very
great to speak to you, man.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to
Yes.
do more of these little collaborations because it's really interesting.
Yes.
Just like songs, how they form themselves, what forms out of conversation when you have it,
Yes.
what comes from conversations, and what didn't have to. We didn't have to plan anything in order to have this conversation
Exactly,
and
yes.
to just be able to draw inspiration from each other in
See,
order to
like a simple thing, even
create.
like
You
we
know.
were actually, you see, we were planning this for like what? It's been like a month or more than a month. We were actually,
Yes. Yeah. We've.
but even when we were deciding, it never happened. But today it just happened out of nowhere.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
He just happened to bump me in like when I was busking in the town.
Yes.
And I
Yeah,
was like,
this is
"Are
true.
you free tonight?" And he's like, "Yes." Then
Yeah.
that's how we met.
Yeah. Exactly.
See,
Just
that's
spontaneity aligned itself.
yes,
Great.
yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
again,
very much for
Puskar.
having
Great
me.
stuff. Thank you.
Very much
And
for having me.
that's all for now. I'll be back again. I'm not going to leave it 2 months because I'm going to try not to leave it 2 months. Sometimes it's very difficult. But thanks again for watching. And any comments, leave them below. And yeah, just like and subscribe if you feel the need to. And we shall be. I shall be back again soon. Okay. Cheers. Thanks a lot, folks. Bye bye now.